It is good, yo. It's your boy Ty, back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be talking about the top point guards, the top 10 point guards, the final top 10 point guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. Now, I do have a side note for you guys, okay? If the certain player's best position is not point guard, they're not on this list. So like Giannis, for example, I prefer Giannis at that small forward position. And so point guard Giannis is not going to be on this list. Why do I do this? Well, if I didn't, then Kevin Durant would be on 2 lists. Giannis would be on 2 lists. Tracy McGrady would be on 2 lists. The list goes on and on. Bron, MJ, I mean, the list literally could go on forever. So that's why I do have it this way. Is simply put because I do not want that many players on multiple lists. So, you know, I'll talk about some other specific players, certain players, and why they're not on this list. But, you know, that is how it is going to go today. Starting this list off at number 10, we're plugging in endgame James Harden. Now, again, James Harden doesn't make the actual top 10 point guards in the game because you got guys like Giannis, Kareem, all those guys would be ahead of him. But without those guys, I do still like James Harden. And if you did grind domination, you got a solid point guard. Movement-wise is really solid. I like his dunk package. Does have quick drop dunks. Steph Curry based on very quick. Trey leaner. And a lot of stuff that James Harden does on the court that I actually do like. Now, is the grind worth it? Probably not. I mean, the Steph Curry base at this point of the game for point guards is not nearly as good as jump shot 3. That is why James Harden finds himself here down at number 10. I mean, there's just better options at this point. He's only 6'5". I will say he's going to move better than nearly every other player on this list. At number 9, we're plugging in the level 40 reward, Nikola Jokic. Now, I didn't grind for Jokic, and do I regret it? No. I mean, at this point, if you're regretting grinding for Jokic, I just feel bad for you because there's no reason to regret it. I mean, you got guys that are really cheap, that are really good point guards in my team. And so, for me, there's just no reason to be upset about not getting Jokic. The card is the definition of mid. His movement is not great. Defensively, I will say I do like Jokic, but that's really it. I mean, his defense is solid. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot to like about Jokic. And that's not me hating on Jokic or anything like that. I'm just saying, compared to some of the guys you will see higher on this list, it's just impossible to put Nikola Jokic any higher. At number 8 is Dyson Daniels. Maybe the one on here that is surprising to some people. I mean, a lot of people, you know, are so fed up by the end game content or you know, so locked into the end game content that they forget about how good Dyson Daniels is. Let's just talk about this. The Dante XM base on very quick. You got Manu Ginobili, Gilbert Arenas, and Dyson Daniels. That's it. And if you are on current gen, guys, the XM base is so elite in my team. You just can't take that for granted. And so because of that, I have Dyson Daniels all the way up here at number 8. Again, release is solid. He is just so slept on in my team. He says beast. He is an absolute beast in my team. When the next set came out, I mean, still to this day, there's really only one top tier player in this set, and that player is Dyson Daniels. There's some other solid players, but I would not call them top tier. At number 7, we got to plug in endgame J.R. Smith. Now, I'm going to just start this off by saying I have not used J.R. Smith enough to really, you know, give you guys an accurate representation. Now, I will say this with a straight face. He is pretty similar to the number 5 guy on this list. Now, what separates them? There's not much. We'll talk about that when I get there. Jump shot 3, Rudy upper on very quick. Trey leader, quick dribble style, Curry size up, escape with the Scotty move by the back. I mean, I don't love even the Curry size up. I think there are way better size ups in the game for today's game. But basically a free endgame card. The card goes for 18,000 MT, and he is a top 7 point guard in the entire game. At number 6, we're plugging in endgame Ben Simmons. Look, if Ben Simmons fits what you want in a point guard, he's probably top 3 on this list. If you love tall point guards, he is probably top 3 because point guard is his best position. Now, for me, I like point guards that can move a little bit more than Ben Simmons can move, and because of that, I can't physically put Ben Simmons any higher. Set shot 25, Kobe's upper on very quick, Trey leaner, quick dribble style, Curry size escape with the Scotty move by the back. All I can sit here and tell you guys is that if you are fine with a point guard in Ben Simmons to not have to move too much, not have to dribble the ball too much, and you do have that secondary ball handler at that shooting guard position, then sure, man, do what you got to do with Ben Simmons. He is a very solid option, especially on that defensive end of the court, coming in here at number 6. Cracking the top 5, a very similar card to J.R. Smith. We are plugging in endgame Kobe Bryant. Now, why do I like Kobe more? I don't necessarily know. Because if you do compare the cards, they're literally identical. Like, I mean, what is the difference? I don't know if Kobe moves that much better or what the difference really is. Kobe's got his jumper with the Kobe upper, which I've, liked on current gen to say the least. But I feel like I need to start using J.R. Smith that little bit more on current gen just to see if there is that much of a difference between the two cards. Because right now, I'm not sure. I've used Kobe on current gen and I absolutely love the card so much. Probably a top 2 point guard on current gen. On next gen, I'm not nearly as high on him. And with J.R. Smith, I just have not used the card yet, so I can't even give you guys an accurate representation. Kobe does have that inch longer wingspan. That's why he's higher on this list, plus just the eye test that I personally have seen. Trace Mcgrady, I do still think's best position is the point guard position. He's one I went back and forth with on, is he better at the shooting guard position or is he better at the point guard position? I personally think he's better at the point guard position. Why? He is very similar to a guy I have one step higher than him. I have the other guy higher than him because I've never used point guard Trace Mcgrady card in my team. I've literally never used this card. Now, that's maybe me being biased. I can look at the comments here and see what people say. These cards are so boring. I mean, everybody just gets the same card, but that's not me saying T-Mac's bad. His player motto is still going to be absolutely ridiculously good on the court. Still has jump shot 3, which on current gen is absolutely elite. Still going to be an absolute beast on the court. The big question is he better than my number 3, who is LaMelo Ball? Right now, I lean no, and why? It's just because I've used LaMelo Ball more. It's not me being low on T-Mac, because T-Mac does have a better player motto and better wingspan. To me, though, it's still 102 upper. Jump shot 1 or release 102 upper is the smoothest upper in the entire game, and I think it is by a large margin. I don't even know if there's anybody else that can even be close to what 102 upper is. Whether it is on the Ray Allen base, whether it is on jump shot 3, the 102 upper is just absolutely elite. So even if T-Mac is super good, it's going to be hard for him to be ahead of LaMelo Ball just because LaMelo does have that release 102 upper on his card. At number 2, plugging in Michael Jordan. No, not the endgame Michael Jordan. Now, this MJ would probably be up here at number 2 as well. I mean, if you want to put him higher, I don't really care. But I'm still, to this day, taking the invincible Michael Jordan over the endgame MJ. Now, this is my personal opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me. Why? Here's why. Okay? Need to listen. Trey escape is better than the Curry escape. It's that simple. Normal leaner isn't as good as the Trey leaner. The Trey leaner is better, so this endgame has that going for him. But when you combine it all, I think the invincible Michael Jordan is the better card. And again, if you want to argue the endgame MJ is better, that is fine. I'm not going to, die on that hill. But one thing I will say is if you've ever came up against Michael Jordan on either gen, this release is so easy to agree with. And you know what I'm talking about, guys. If you know, man. MJ, on current gen especially, is so elite. On next gen is still a top 5 point guard in the game. I'm just absolutely in love with invincible Michael Jordan. If you guys want to argue he should be lower on the list, I'm okay with it. But MJ is absolutely him in my team. And so is this card in Luka Doncic. An absolute beast in my team. Now, this Luka is really good. But this is the Luka Doncic we're going to talk about. This Luka Doncic here has Trey size up escape, the Luka Doncic base, which is way better on next gen than current gen. I'm aware of that, but it's still not horrible on current gen. Like, you can still use this card on current gen. Trey leaner, Scotty moving behind the back, quick drop dunks. I mean, what more do you want out of Luka Doncic? That's the question I would ask you guys. Like, when you look at Luka Doncic and when you've played against Luka on next gen, the card is literally unguardable. You can't guard what Luka Doncic does. The most unstoppable, the most broken thing in the entire game is Luka Doncic. And I don't even think it is close. My top point guard still to this day in the entire game. Now again, if you missed it at the start of the video, there are some reasons these certain point guards are not on the list. Probably because Kareem is going to make an appearance on the power forward list. Probably because a guy like Magic Johnson just stinks and won't make any list. But probably a thing like LeBron's going to make the small forward list. Giannis going to make the small forward list. So if you didn't see, Giannis, Bron, Kareem, and you love their point guard, their point guard cards, it's probably because they are going to be on a separate list. But that's gonna wrap it up for my video today, guys. Let me know your thoughts on our final top 10 point guards in the entire game. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.